It's time for a self-portrait. So we are going to learn about double exposure. It's not difficult. It's something that probably will take you a half an hour to do. So hopefully this will be a short and quick project for you. So you can see on my screen, I have a couple of examples. This one I did, oops, let me bring that back. Let's open this up. Okay, so this is the one I did for myself. Okay, took a picture, selfie, and added some flowers to it, a gradient, and a quote. And you're going to be doing something similar. You're going to take a picture of yourself. You're going to get your mom to take a picture of you, your dad, your brother, or somebody, or take it yourself if you can. I didn't have anyone to take this for me, so I just had to do a selfie. But find a picture. It doesn't matter what's behind you. We know how to pull pictures out, so we're not worried about our backgrounds anymore. We've got that pretty much covered. All right, but I'm not going to do my sample of me. I'm going to do my sample of another image. I'm going to use a model just to make it simple. All right, so I'm going to open up two pictures. The first picture I'm going to open is the picture of the girl that I'm using. And let's see, this is called double exposure portrait. And here is my model, okay? And next I'm going to open the picture that I want to have as her double exposure, and it just happens to be some flowers and a butterfly. So before I bring that flowers and the butterfly over, I just want to do a couple things. First of all, she needs to be on a white background. It's very important that she's on a white background. So let me just clean up my workspace here. I'm going to go to Reset Essentials. I'll get rid of this. I just want to make sure I've got all the tools that I need, and I'm looking at this in the best way possible. Okay, so I'm ready to pull her out. The best way for me to do that is clearly to go to Object Selection, hit Select Subject, and she's going to come right out. Now, if you have a lot of things in your background, you might not be able to use this method. You might have to use a different method. It's gonna just depend on what picture you're working with. But for this works out pretty well. Once she's been selected, I need to create a mask, and here's where I create a mask. This little black area with a white circle, that helps me create a mask. So now I've just basically she's become a mask. The next thing I need to do is I need to put her on a white background. She currently is on a transparent background. So in order to put her onto a white background, I'm going to go to this little black white, image here, which usually shows me. I'm going to have to drag this in so you guys can see it. When I go here, I get some options. You guys can't see the bottom options because of the way I have my screen right now, but it doesn't matter because the only thing I'm looking for is solid color. And the solid color came up black. I'm not looking for black, I'm looking for white. So I'm going to hit OK, and now I have a white background, and I'm going to slide that white background under her. Okay, so now she is on a white background. The next thing I'll do is I'll go grab that picture. And so this is the picture I'm going to use, bringing it over, dropping it. It's showing up behind her, and I will move that so that it's in front of her. And I do want to enlarge it, so I'm going to go to Edit. I'm going to go to Transform, I'm going to go to Scale, and I'm going to enlarge this photo. And if I only wanted the flowers to be part of her, that would be fine, but I'm pretty sure I want that butterfly to be part of it because my quote sort of includes a butterfly. I'm going to click the check mark right now. Now, believe it or not, doing one thing, and that is going to my blending modes and selecting a blending mode. Screen is a good one to use. You honestly have lots of options as to how you could use these blending modes, but and that's a quite interesting one right there. But I'm going to go with screen, okay? And so it's blending these two images in just a real soft manner. Now I want to move the picture. The picture is not where I want it to be. So now that I can see how it looks with her, I'll go back to transform, you can scale, whatever. The idea is that I just simply want to move this image so that that butterfly is part of her. Okay, and so maybe I'll just keep it like that. All right, so right now we're pretty good. I've got this double exposure already happening, and I can do one more thing if I want to. I can go to this layer, and I could maybe put a gradient over this whole image, her and the butterfly. And right now the gradient is set at a black gray, and you might even like that type of a look, but I'm going to change it to something else, and I think I'll try pinks. I'll see what happens when I look at pink gradients, see if I see any in here that I like. I can always make one if I don't see one that I like. This one's kind of interesting. I might even put a little white in this so that there's some softness to it. Kind of like that. Okay, so let's just say this is the gradient I go with. So I hit OK, OK. All right, the next thing I need to do is I need to go back and I need to hit overlay, okay? Before I hit screen, and now I'm hitting overlay. And so now that gradient has blended in, and you can see the pinks and the oranges and the yellows, and it creates a really pretty effect. And she blends with the picture that's over it, so it becomes one image. The last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create one more layer. So I'm going to click on this image, and I'm going to click the create clipping mask here. And when I do that, I'm going to check over here and make sure I have black selected. I'm going to go to my paintbrush, and right now the opacity is 91%. If I start to go over this, you can see how it begins to pull the color from around her eyes, okay? And maybe I like this, you know, dark red that's kind of coming up around her eyes. It's sort of, you know, I'm going with that gradient that I've already put down. So it's one way to sort of bring her eyes out if I choose to. Maybe I want to do more with the butterfly. Now that's too dark, so I won't go with that. However, I could attempt to lower the opacity and see if I like the effect I get. If I do, I'll keep it. If I don't, I won't. I like the bright yellow, so I'm going to keep that. I might just, go over her lips a little bit, just to kind of pull those out a little bit. And there wasn't much color in the gradient there, so not much is happening, but I kind of like that because it almost blends in with her skin, so it's almost like you can't even see her lips anymore. They sort of just kind of blend in there. Now you can play with with this as much as you want to see what happens when when you go in and you pull things out. You might like the effects that you get. You might not like the effects you get. It's kind of up to you. But I'm going to leave her at that. This is a perfect double exposure. She is now blended in with the image that I put in. Now all I need to do is add a last layer, and the last layer will be above everything else, and this is going to be my text layer. And in here I need a quote, and I'm going to show you the easiest way to create a quote. Just go to the internet. You can put in quotes, and let's just say I wanted a quote that had to do with butterflies. Well, I've already looked one up, butterflies and flowers. So I'm going to get a lot of quotes that deal with butterflies and flowers. So let's just see if there's anything here that I think is interesting. This one's kind of nice. Beautiful and graceful, varied and enchanting. Small but approachable, butterflies lead you to the sunny side of life, and everyone deserves a little sunshine. So if I just want to copy this, whoops, get rid of that, go away. Sometimes things like to pop up. All right, so I'm going to doesn't want to copy for me. There we go, got it. Okay, Control C. I'm done. I will go back to what I had here, and I will just put in Control V, and there is my quote. I have a little bit of lorem ipsum showing up, which I do not need. So where that begins, I will eliminate that, and there it is. Delete. Nope, there's a lot of it. At one point, I think I taught you how to eliminate the lorem ipsum. If you're still getting it, that's that font that just sort of shows up anytime you try to use text. If you're still getting it, it's probably because you didn't adjust your settings. And I can adjust my settings right now. In fact, if I just go to, well, you guys would have to do it differently, but I'll do that after I get this set. Okay, so beautiful and graceful, varied and enchanting, small but approachable, butterflies lead you to the sunny side of life, and everyone deserves a little sunshine. So pick the font you like, go to Window, go to Character, okay, find the size. If the size seems too big, make it smaller. If the font is not what you want, pick a font you like. I think I've told you before, I like more flowery types of fonts. I do think, though, these letters are a little too close to each other, so I could spread them out a little bit. In doing that, it probably would be a good idea to give myself more room for the font, which means it would kind of go over her face a little bit, but that does not bother me. I like for there to be connections. The other thing I would probably do to this font, and I even like the black doesn't bother me either. Sometimes I will change the font to a different color if I think the font should be something that goes with the colors. But the other thing I think I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the font a little, not that, that's not what I want to do. What I want to do is, this is what I want to do. I want to create more space because this is such flowing font. I want there to be more space between those letters. So I'm going to go with about 150, which means I'm also going to have to extend this a little bit. And again, that does not bother me one little bit that it goes over her face. To me, that creates a connection, and it makes this entire thing sort of work together. So I'm going to leave it like this, and you're going to create your own self-portrait, okay? And it's going to include a quote, and just come up with something really cool. Looking forward to seeing what you do.